Hello, this is Lisa Russick
And Donna Murphy.
with the podcast We're All Psychic. And today we have Gary, and this is like such an exciting podcast for me. We have had to put it off a few times because of illnesses and things going wrong and whatnot. But Gary, would you like to say hello?
Hello, folks. Hello,
And Gary's a
Lisa and
talker,
Donna.
folks.
Pardon me?
I said Gary's a talker, folks. Isn't this great?
Yeah,
We
well, I've been
talk.
known to talk, yeah.
He's a good talker, guys. And this is a video on Spotify and YouTube. But first, Gary, before we get into all the wonderful things that you talk about, I'd like to ask you a question. But I think Donna wants to ask you the question. Do you want to ask him a question?
Yeah, Gary, do you think we're all psychic?
Pardon me?
Do you think we're all psychic?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, how'd you get there?
Curiosity, interest. When I was a teenager, I was raised Catholic. I was an altar boy. I was always curious about God and Jesus. But when I went through puberty, I realized that Catholic Church is kind of lacking in some of its knowledge about human sexuality, to say the least.
Absolutely.
So,
Every
yeah,
sperm
so
is
I,
not sacred.
I zipped out of the Catholic Church, but not out of Jesus and God and curiosity. And I was very curious. And I got six brothers, and none of them were curious about why we're
Fearful.
here, what's going on, like I was. I was just
Wow.
absorbed. And I went to college, and it was electrical engineer from 65 to 70 at Texas Tech. Graduated as electrical engineer in the middle of the Vietnam War. I'd been a war protester and Vietnam moratorium leader and all this. And I surely wasn't going to join the cause. So I served as a conscientious objector here in Austin, Texas, at Austin State School um, for retarded kids and so forth. It was around a lot of savants,
Yeah.
brilliant people,
Yeah.
amazing.
Mhm.
Whether they were
Really? Like what
number
kind of
geniuses.
specialties did you see? Did you see any unusual specialties or anything
Oh,
like that?
one guy really fascinated me. I don't think he had original thought in his life, but he could remember everything that happened, and he would be like a tape reporter, tell you, "Well, last week Joe,"
That's
and
so
I was
cool.
near Joe, and it was 100% accurate.
Well, some people on the podcast have compared savants to like people who are very psychic and can't do anything else.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And
Think
they
break.
say they're accessing the Akashic records to get that information, like all the
Absolutely.
time, to get that brilliance. Some people have said that. I've
Let's
questioned
face
that,
it.
and I thought that was interesting. So
Life is choices and decisions and so forth. And if you're a 400-pound football player, you're probably not going to try to also be a ballerina. Okay. You know, we have strengths, we have weaknesses, we're all different. But I was curious since I was studying, I got reading a lot of Edgar Casey in college. And so I moved to Austin, Texas in 1970 and started working at the Austin State School as a conscientious objector. And I started giving the readings with just regular deck of playing cards. Um, Now, in 1977, I was also in 1972. I stopped being working for the Selective Service as a conscientious objector. I started traveling, playing music. Uh, in 1977, I quit traveling, wanted to take a break, and this was January 1977,
Okay.
January
I
31st.
was I was two. How old were you, Donna? I was two. You were what, 9? 9?
In 1977, I was 20.
20,
I was
close.
I was 29, so you must be six. Uh, I ain't gonna do the math anyway. So
I was just
I
shy.
noticed
If it was January of 77, I was just shy of my 20th birthday.
that's what I figured. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was 29 at the time, and that
Yeah.
whole day had felt weird for some reason. Uh, Not normal at all. And I went back to my duplex to my roommates and unloaded our gear, and I started picking up what people were thinking about and about to
It just
say.
happened like that. Nothing
It seemed to kind of
instigated it.
come on within 24 hours. It went from curiosity to things feeling different to all of a sudden I'm picking up everything my roommates are thinking, you
Wow.
know?
It was
Wow.
like it's like you
And
had an on-off switch or something.
Yeah.
Or a
absolutely.
dial that went
Yeah.
And I
over
went to
24 hours.
bed. I went to bed, couldn't sleep, up all night, thinking way outside the box.
I bet, yeah.
In the morning, I walked in while my roommate had made some coffee, and he's coming in with the newspaper from the front yard. And I saw the newspaper through his eyes. And he threw the tape paper down and looked at me. You okay? Yeah. Now this,
Was it in your mind or did you see it like it was real, like in your vision? I'm
oh, it
just
was as
curious.
real as could real be, but
Okay, so
he's
it's like
holding
you
the
were him.
newspaper like I was seeing it through his eyes because
Oh
he was
Yeah.
looking.
wow.
And as he was looking at it, even as he was scanning it, and this happened just a millisecond, and it was an article about Carter. He was
Yeah.
president. So he threw the paper down, and I noticed, I was in shock. You okay? I said, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's when I started realizing that I am starting to live a different life. I walked down the
Hmm.
store, everybody had passed. I could hear their thoughts, their feelings.
How'd you feel? I mean, were you freaking? Like, were you
I
freaking out or
started
were you,
freaking out. I started freaking out because of what, who turned this
am I in a
switch
book?
on?
Yeah.
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 Am I in a
So yeah,
Stephen
it
King
was
novel?
it was intense and challenging and confusing, but it was also kind of beautiful.
Yeah.
I was starting to
What
pick
would
up
people think
stuff.
about? What kind of stuff were people thinking about? I'm
Oh,
curious if
everything.
you
Cars,
remember.
kids,
Yeah.
shopping list, forgot this. We went to a club that night, same thing. I could pick up everybody who's walking by about, oh, forgot this, I need to do this, and uh in fact I sat on the bar stool and thought, man, I need to take a break. I need to go outside. And all of a sudden, I'm outside and people are walking through me because I'm right by the front door. And it freaked me out. I opened my eyes. Nope, I'm still in the bar stool.
You,
Hmm.
like,
And the door,
astral, like, projected out to that
Yeah.
area because
yeah,
you
and the
Astral
wanted
door
to, but
opened.
you didn't actually physically do it. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
the door opened and the people walked through and dressed exactly as I'd seen them. And I could also pick up their names and everything else. And my roommate came in from the other room. What are you doing? Too hard to explain. I
Yeah.
bet you,
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet you I
You're doing a great
Where do
job
I
on this
start?
podcast, though.
right.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I said, I bet I can tell how the next couple looks when they walk in the door. $5. Okay, $5. The door opens. I predict it perfectly. You were just outside. No, ask any one of these people. I've been sitting here for 30 minutes. I didn't move. Ask
Yeah.
the doorman. He tried it again. I predicted again, blew his mind. So
You got $10.
on the way home, he was saying, man, you've been picking up all kinds of stuff. You're talking about who's going to call. When the phone would ring, I said, oh, it's Joe. Uh, and Joe would tell him, my roommate, I'll be over in a while. My roommate would hang up, and I say he's gonna. I'd look at the clock, and it would go up to 2:28. And I'd say he's gonna be over here right at 2:28. And
Wow.
at 2:28, he would be on the porch coming in. I couldn't turn this off.
Right. So
Yeah.
you're not
And
even,
that,
it's just like if there's a suggestion about what might happen, you just get it. Is that kind of what happens?
well, I had two choices.
Okay.
I could either pick this up, which was automatic, which was starting to turn on full blast, or I could inject it somehow, but I couldn't ignore it. And
Okay.
by inject it, I would mean I got this feeling of I had to constantly be verifying things, verification,
Oh, yeah.
verification,
Validation. Yeah.
valid
That makes a huge
verification.
difference.
So I'd look at a stranger 3 blocks away, harmlessly thinking, scratch your head and point up to that building, and the person would do it. And I would think, man, did
Did
I
I make
make
them
that
do that
happen?
or did I know they were going to do that? What were you
Absolutely.
doing?
Which
Oh
one
Yeah.
my
was it?
gosh.
And I couldn't tell the difference between witness and creator at that point.
Hmm.
And things got so intense. Now I kept feeling these guardian angels kind of watching me.
The guards.
The
Yeah.
only thing that made sense to me, and I kept saying, is this real?" And they seemed to watching shifts and so forth, and I couldn't see them, but I could feel them. And
I feel them
so
too.
after,
I feel like there's two here and two there all the time. Is what
we
it
have
feels like.
more spiritual
There's
guides
more,
than
but those guards, the guardians, the
right. Oh
guards,
yeah,
there's just those four that I always feel always
we
there. I don't know what
indeed
they are.
we have guardian angels and we have guides and we have all
I
sorts
don't
of
know what
levels.
these are, but these things seem to like they're like
You don't
bumpers
have
for me to
to,
like not die, you
you,
know.
Lisa. You don't have to understand gravity to use it to make use of it.
Make use of it. I was like, use it. How do I use it? I'd love to know how to use it.
Use your imagination. Well, here's how I started making use of it.
Dropping stuff.
Once I went through this incredible psychic experience, which after 7 days I couldn't take it anymore. I'm racing down Guadalupe Street here in Austin, Texas, terrified, praying, screaming,
You hadn't
crying.
been sleeping either, had you?
No, man, I was off to another planet,
Hmm.
Yeah.
And People are all around me looking,
No food or anything, I
freaking
bet.
out.
Yeah.
Not much. Uh, and right in the middle of this terrible fear, all of a sudden there's this incredible warmth. I mean, it's cold. And I look up and there's this huge light right above me, like a spotlight, about 6 feet. And I look around and none of these people who have been watching me because I was freaking out, none of these people acknowledged it or saw it or anything. I thought, I don't care. What is this? And then this light turned into the palms of these 7 white robed, grayish robed monitors. Now I couldn't see their face. It kind of looked gray as if to say, don't worry about our faces.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's our present. Don't try to figure out who we are or what.
Doesn't
And
matter.
they said, do you trust us? And I said, man, I don't understand what's going on. I'm freaking out. Who you, man? Shh. Do you trust us? And I finally said yes, because the other option is being crazy. And all of a sudden I felt protected and warm. I mean, there was no, yeah, whatever. And within a couple seconds, I was hit head on by a speeding car. And I was outside my body, watching my body get tumbled over and break the windshield. And I started expanding outward like a surface of a balloon. And instantaneously, I realized that's how souls leave the body. You
Okay.
expand out in all directions, your soul, your psyche, no matter where your body is.
It's like your aura kind of like
Yeah, your essence. And likewise, in birth, the whole soul collapse right down to the spot of the mother at birth. That's how we come and we go, soul wise. And the interface, I realized during this experience, is the quantum level, the smallest level. That's the interface between the non physical and the physical. And it's beautiful. It works that way.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm hit by this speeding car and I instantly left my body and expanding outward. And I soon had no idea who I was. It was
Oh my
just pure
gosh.
sensation and it was
What was the
beautiful.
sensation? Like, what did it feel like, or what was it?
Well, it's
Physical, mental, spiritual? What do
all the
you?
above, all the
Okay.
above. I saw my body in the car wreck, and then Austin turned into a little dot, and then the
Did you
whole
feel
world.
anything in the car wreck? No.
No,
Right.
I did not feel anything.
The
No,
spirits always tell me before anything like that happens, they pop out before they feel anything.
I didn't feel a thing.
Yeah.
Uh, and I'm expanding outward, and soon I had no awareness of myself. But I realized I went to the edge of the universe, and I went through this level of consciousness that I describe as the colors. Because when we collapse into birth, we go through this level of consciousness called the colors that gives us the ability through our senses, sight, hear, touch, and brain, and intelligence, and soul, and psyches, to understand who we are, where we are, and why. That's
To make our
automatically embedded.
consciousness, yeah.
So is everybody psychic? Yeah, everybody gets that baptism. But like anything, if you ever are near water, everybody gets a chance to swim.
Wait,
It's
wait,
a
wait, wait. What
choice.
happened? What happened? You're
Oh,
here.
I'll tell you.
Okay. Yeah,
But
let's
it
hear
is
what
choice.
happened.
So I'm expanding outward and no awareness of myself, get to the edge of the universe, go through the colors, see the universe I came out of like one star in a sky of infinite stars. So I immediately realized, wow, there's infinite universes and infinite possibilities. And they seem to wrap up into a tunnel of light. Most perfect description I've ever seen or heard.
Wow.
Because I felt like I was going through this tunnel of silverish white, very protective, empowering, beautiful clouds speeding up. Of course, this is all my psyche. My body's still down there somewhere in Texas, hopefully. I wasn't sure.
Hopefully.
I didn't even think about it. I had no awareness of myself,
Yeah.
just sensation. And I came out of this kind of like a balloon shot out of a clown shot out of a cannon at a circus. That's kind of what, bam, I'm in this big blue infinite void of infinite mind. And I'm part of it. I'm not observing it, I'm part of it.
Mhm.
And one atom is the same as all atoms. And the most fascinating thing to me is instantly I realized a couple things. Number one, it's infinite and unbiased completely. Number two, either it existed as infinite, unbiased, and everything can happen, or it wouldn't exist and nothing would be here. There's no
Mhm.
in between, period. And guess which one came about? No.
Well, we're here, aren't we? Are we? Are we here?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we are, but we're really, when it comes down to when I saw this infinite mind, I realized that everything that's manifest
So what
is
do you
nothing.
remember about that
Hold on.
moment when you were with?
Let
Okay,
me
I got lots of
let me
questions.
explain it.
Okay.
Everything that's manifest, everything is really nothing more than infinite mind having an imagination about it, and
Yes.
Mhm.
therefore it exists. Therefore it
Yes.
is. And to
Mhm.
see that just blew my mind. And when I say blew my mind, all of a sudden I say, I felt like I was an observer. And I started getting pulled back from this infinite mind. I
Mhm.
went, whoa, 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 whoa. I
You
liked
were
it there.
coming back. Yeah.
I had no idea who I was or where I was going, but I got pulled back through this tunnel of light, collapsed back into this, chose this universe out of all the ones, started being pulled toward that. No idea who I was or why. Started collapsing into this universe, started getting closer and closer to this galaxy, started feeling like I had some affiliation with it. Still didn't know who I was or why. Got real close to the Earth, and then I saw three series of pictures. One was everything we're going through now. I saw 9/11 and COVID-19 and the rise of the oceans and the changing of the geography in the next 1,500 years and the age of Aquarius. And the second period series of pictures for the age of Aquarius, the beautiful world we're entering into. Now, there's a big chunk of change between those two. And I still didn't know who I was. And a third
You
set
don't
of
even know what you're
pictures,
looking at, but you're getting the
well,
information. Yeah.
there's no doubt what I was seeing. I just didn't
Okay.
know.
Okay. So you understood what you were seeing, but you still had no identity.
It was
Kind
so
of.
clear. I just didn't have the perspective of an observer. It was like
Weird.
downloaded instantaneously by these millions of pictures, like spinning newspapers.
Yeah.
So the third set was me, but I didn't know it. It was a musician, it was a psychic, and I saw myself playing piano and touring all over.
In the
And
future.
at the time, I was having a real struggle making a living as a musician because I never had a good voice, and I
Yeah.
was always an expendable sideman. So anyway, after these three series of pictures, the chaos, the age of Aquarius, and the other side of all this chaos, which is beautiful, but it takes a while to get there. And then this musician guy. And then all of a sudden I saw my body and I went, that's me. And I jumped right into my body. Now I'd just been to heaven and back, but I looked up and there's this red hair hanging over me. There's a driver of the car and he's terrified. Man, they tried to stop me.
Oh, you were on the ground.
I was on the ground. People were
I thought
screaming and
you'd be in the
hollering.
hospital when you woke up. That's what I was expecting. I didn't know
No,
you'd
I
be
was
like
I
right
looked
there. You came to.
and I looked up at the car and realized, wow, I just hit that thing, but I didn't feel a scratch. I didn't had no pain whatsoever.
Were you hurt
And
at
I
all?
jumped. No, I jumped right to my feet, and the driver's trying to put me down. You're in shock. I said, no, I'm not in shock. Leave me alone. Did any of you folks see this? And the driver kept trying to put me down, and I finally grabbed him and said, leave me alone, and pushed him backwards. I said something like, leave me alone or I'll rape you for just for effect. I grabbed a word, and that seemed like that'll make him leave me alone.
That's like a 90s kind of thing to do,
Because
or
I
2003
didn't,
or something. I don't know.
I didn't care about his explanation of what happened. Whatever he wanted to believe, fine. You know, where I just went and back was the priority. That
Yeah.
was mind boggling.
Yeah.
Screw this accent. Shut up. Anyway, he tripped over himself, fell backwards, and ended up filing charges against me for assault. But before that all came into
Crazy
play,
night, dude.
oh,
Oh,
listen, you didn't even know.
no.
What a
It,
No.
crazy freaking night
it's just
and week.
starting.
I mean,
It's
gee.
just starting. So anyway, I thought, look, can't deal with the driver, can't deal with the accident, can't deal with all these people trying to explain what happened. I'm going to walk home. Screw it. So I started walking. They said, no, 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 stay till the cops come explain it. And I heard sirens. Oh, okay, I'll just explain what happened and go home. Right. When the cops got there in the ambulance, they're all looking around for a body
Yeah.
in the middle of the street. That's where they
Right.
got a call, head on collision. And I was staying up talking to people. In fact, I had to say, hey, I'm the guy you're looking for. And they all had to The pointed me. Yep.
Did you even have any dirt on you or anything? I mean, like
Oh, I had a little
nothing?
bit of dirt. I had no
Little
scratches. I had no bumps. I felt no pain.
That's so
I
weird.
just been to heaven.
Yeah,
This didn't
you got
even bother
blessed
me
and
at
put
all.
back.
I couldn't explain it. I didn't want to deal with the cops, the ambulance. I'm fine. Just let me go home and digest this. No way. Cops wouldn't let me go home. Ambulance wouldn't let me go home. They're talking to all the witnesses, and I was talking to something that wasn't there. And then I jumped in front of this car, halfway jumped,
They said
halfway
you
back.
kind of like did it on purpose. The witnesses thought you did.
To some degree, you'll have to read the book How and Why.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
That's
But
that
I
book,
don't.
right? If you're watching, listeners and watchers,
Yeah, a
watchers,
second
it's
in
a second in
eternity.
Yeah.
eternity on his over his shoulder, right there. That's
So this was
amazing.
mind-boggling, and they didn't know what to do with me. They rushed me to the hospital, X-rayed me. I'm perfectly healthy, nothing wrong. Put a Band-Aid on my head to make it look like, I mean, it was a little Band-Aid. I think there was a little spot of blood that they might have
Yeah,
put it there to make like they did something
because they
because I
wanted to
wasn't
feel
hurt.
helpful
Yeah,
and
you're in the
make you.
emergency room. You had a head-on collision. You're not even scratched. So I said, "Yeah, can I go home?" And they said, "No." They sent a guy in to talk to me, and I knew his name instantly. He was a psychiatrist. He walked up to my bed, and I told him all about himself and his wife and his kid. He, wow, how do you know this? I said, I know everything right now, doc, because
I
I
know
still
everything.
did.
Yeah.
Oh, I could tap into anything. What I couldn't do is understand why, number one, and two, turn it off.
Have you
I
figured
was,
Mhm.
those things out? How to turn it off and why? By
yeah,
now,
oh
have you
yeah,
figured? Tell
oh
us.
yeah,
Do
oh yeah.
tell.
There's more to the story.
Oh, okay. So
So
excited.
anyway, the doctor, the psychiatrist said, we can't let you get home just by yourself, even though you're not hurt, because of what you've been
Mhm.
saying, because the whole incident's so bizarre. So they decided to put me in a psychiatric hospital, but first had to take me to jail and book me until they could get a order of protective custody signed, because they wouldn't let me go home. So they put me in jail for 2 days until my brother signed order of protective custody and could commit me to a psychiatric hospital. So they ran me down to jail from the hospital. I wasn't hurt. I knew the psychiatrist, blowing everybody's mind that I wasn't hurt, and I knew all about him, and I could go on. But anyway, next 30
Was that
minutes, I'm
freaking people
behind.
out that you were saying those kinds of things? Is that why they
Oh,
wanted to put you
everybody
in a
was
hospital?
mind blown.
I mean, is that
Everybody
why they
was,
were really wanting to put you in the
the
hospital?
cops, the ambulance, the police, the people in the ER room, the psychiatrist, and now the jail. Because
Oh,
they took me to
yeah.
jail and everybody's in a different cell. Well, who's the new guy? What'd you do? And I said, man, I just went across the universe and transverse space and time. Saw her, saw inf- I
Not
saw
much.
infinite mind and
I didn't
infinite
have my passport.
creativity. Yeah, I saw infinite mind, infinite creativity. Came back here, they're mind blown, and they started telling about their cases, and I started telling them what to do, and I was right. And then another one would ask, and I was kind of getting tired. Now I want to lay down. So a jailer came by and put his face right up to mine and said, look, you are not a lawyer. You have no right to try to give these people legal advice. And if you don't shut up, I'll put you
Talk
in
all you
solitary.
want, man. That's a lie.
He said, yeah, I'll put you in solitary confinement if you don't shut up. And I went, that gives me a reason to shut up.
Oh
No
my.
more advice, folks. Good. Because I couldn't turn it off. My
Yeah.
Yeah.
psychic ability. And so when someone asked a question, the answer was just there.
I mean, it's hard not to say it, man, if you
Like
Yeah.
Chat
Yeah.
GPT said better and faster. You know?
say it better and faster. That's about
Excuse
it.
me. So anyway, after 2 days, they finally got the order of protective custody signed, took me to Austin, the Shoal Creek Hospital, private psychiatric hospital here in Austin. I was Mr. Smiles. I was entertaining everybody, playing guitar, singing for them, and no threat whatsoever. At
Mhm.
the at the end of the week, they took me before, 4 or 5 psychiatrists and a couple staff workers because they have to decide whether to recommit me for another 10 days because I was off balance or let me go home. And so I told them all, I ain't changing my story. This is what happened. I've told y'all, I've told the nurse.
Mhm.
Uh, and you can either keep me for another 10 days and I'll be happy because I can't do anything around, but I ain't going to sit here and lie to you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not going to sit here and say, no, this didn't happen. I said, you guys are
Mhm.
the psychiatrists. You're the doctors. You should be asking me
And
questions.
they
You
have
should be
proof
studying
from
it.
you saying all those things about them that you couldn't have possibly known. I mean, you so must have said it to tons of people when you were there.
They were mind blown, but they were also baffled. They couldn't understand it. And this was
Yeah.
not a
It's scary, I
this was
guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
I was just
well,
going to say that's really fear. I think that's
and
really
this is
fear based.
Me
Yeah.
this is
too. Me
19
too.
this is 1977.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People weren't used to hearing this. Now it's like, oh, you had an NDE, they got a YouTube channel about it or whatever.
Yeah.
It's true, but back then, and I had never even read the book Life After Death, Moody's book.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I had no idea what was going on, why. It took me, 10 years later to realize, oh, a lot of people had this. Because anyway, they finally released me from the hospital. I went home. It started coming down. A couple of months later, I had kind of a relapse. My roommate, realizing this, called my mom. She came down, talked me into committing myself this time to the Austin State Hospital because it was very cheap compared to Shoal Creek, a private hospital, which was quite expensive. And they didn't want to
Mhm.
spend thousands of more dollars. Or Gary's weird. What you doing? Drugs? And of course, all the doctors asked me that. And I said, look, I've
That,
done plenty,
yeah.
I wish
That
I
would
plenty
have
of
were
been
doing
the
psych.
drugs.
assumption. Yeah. That would have been the
Oh, yeah.
assumption. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I'm no virgin to that. I'm a look through, I'm a musician. I went through the sex, drugs, and rock and roll
In
period.
the
Of course, I
70s and 60s.
I
Yeah.
got a lot of experience. In fact, I asked my psychiatrist in Shoal Creek Hospital, God bless him, he was a Southern Baptist by the book psychiatrist, and I was telling him about his kids and his wife, his family. It just blew his mind. And I said, you've never taken a psychedelic. You don't understand the word psychic or believe in it. I'm a believer in God too, but also believe in infinite mind. And Jesus is just one part of that. You know,
Mhm.
there's Jesus ain't on this other galaxy. It's another guru, in another manifestation. So, but psychiatrist, God bless him, could never quite bring himself to admit that there might be more to the picture. But he did speak in my behalf when they let me out at the 10
Good.
psychiatrists. Yeah, Gary's good. So I've got to go home now, and I had a relapse in April. Actually, on April Fool's Day, 77. I
God.
thought that was kind of ironic. April 1st. I even in my book here put the police records in and the court records in about being committed and so forth.
Mhm.
And the
Yeah.
police report about me not getting hurt and me talking to some. And it's a pretty short, I got arrested actually. The charges they took me into when they took me to jail because they had to hold me for something to hold me till they could get an order of protective custody. Uh, they filed a charge of public lunacy, you know. Then that was a good way to
Is
keep
that
me.
something that's a real charge?
Evidently,
Public
it's a real thing.
lunacy? I mean, is that a real, like,
Well, I couldn't argue with them. I thought, it's pretty appropriate.
public
I'd
lunacy?
think the same thing, of
You shouldn't be
course.
arrested for public lunacy. I mean,
No, but
goodness.
they didn't know
Not a
what to do. And
crime.
I wouldn't have known what to do. I wouldn't have believed
Streets
me,
would be empty.
really. But you got to look at it from what it is. I wouldn't have believed me. If I'd have seen
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
situation, I didn't see this UFO and what this guy went through and coming back and infinite. All I saw was a crazy guy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wouldn't
For
have,
the people on the street, all they see is somebody who appears to have lost their mind.
completely
Yeah, and
talking
looks
to
like you're
someone
killing
else.
yourself because you walk in front of this.
And it looks like you want to kill yourself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's crying and screaming 1 minute and praying, next minute, wow. I mean, so anyway, the thing that really baffled me is why me? Why did I have the
What
experience?
happened? Did you ever figure it out? Why?
Yeah, I did, because I kept asking my guides, the monitors.
Mhm.
I only saw them once before Do You Trust Us at that period. I felt them
Mhm.
before that, but only saw them that one time. However, and this is about the fall of 77, I'm playing my guitar on my porch, and for the 8,468th time, I'm asking them, why me? Please, you got to tell me. How'd you guys choose me? And they finally, I felt them out in the front yard, and they shot this light like a laser right into my third eye. and time stopped, traffic stopped, the wind stopped. And like credits at the end of a Superman movie that get longer in the distance,
Yeah, Star
I
Wars.
start seeing that at the same time I was hearing them in this one unified low voice like
Like the
James Earl
Borg.
Jones. The same voice that said, "Do you trust us?"
Oh,
They
weird.
started they started saying this, and I'm paraphrasing. You had this experience because since you were a kid, you always wanted to know. You were always asking.
Mhm.
You studied religion, you studied psychic ability, you read Edgar Casey, you're searching, you're searching. You were finally prepared for the truth, and we took you there and showed you that. No, any problem there? No, thank you. And they said, now you got to watch your diet. You're extremist. You're bipolar. You're going to go through these extremes your whole life. Learn to benefit from them. Learn to use. Watch them. So it was about a couple paragraphs that absolutely blew my mind. They said these things you saw, you will see. The flashes, this was 77
Yeah.
when I had this
All
in
they had for
February.
bipolar people then was lithium, right? Isn't
Or
that
the,
Yeah.
when lithium was happening? That's when that happened. And
oh,
and after
when
that,
I
it
went
still
to
took them like till the 80s or 90s before they had other medications for
when
bipolar
I
people.
went to Shoal Creek in the 70s here, they're giving me lithium carbonate.
Yeah.
When I went to
Mhm.
the Austin State Hospital, which is kind of much cheaper, they gave me Thorazine, and they were giving me handfuls
Oh,
of it.
Not
yeah.
for bipolar disorder.
Oh
No,
yeah, right. And I
that's
was
typically that's for
It can be as an adjunct to other medication, but not
yeah.
well,
by itself. It's for
I was so
schizophrenia.
amped.
Typically schizophrenia.
Yeah, it
Oh
says
yeah,
an antipsychotic, so they just
Yeah.
didn't
and
want to give
they're
you the
doing
good stuff, I
They
guess.
don't,
they're not,
again, they're shooting in, they're
In the
shooting in the
dark.
dark.
You're right. They didn't know
Yeah.
what to
they are.
do. They didn't. And most of the time, that's all psychiatrists are doing is shooting in the dark from the hip.
But But during this fall of 1977, when they gave me this information, like I said, a laser shot, time stopped, wind stopped, the screen right before my eyes, the same words, and then all of a sudden they were gone.
Yeah.
And traffic stopped again, started again. The wind. I went, do I believe in the potential of the universe? Do I believe in the power of higher mind and guides? Man, like never before. But like everybody, we have to make a choice to open that door, to
Mhm.
investigate, to look. If you want to find knowledge, you have to seek it. And a lot
Yes.
of
Mhm.
times in life, like happened to me and everybody, we do go through these changes, sudden surprises, oftentimes that slap us in the face and offer us new opportunities to see new things and learn new things and look at the world different. But even then, we get to choose whether to answer the phone, heed the call, be curious, ask the right questions, grow and evolve, or do none of the above.
Right.
Right.
It's all choice.
It is
It's
choice.
all choice and
It is.
techniques. I believe so much in choice and techniques,
Mhm.
which brings me to my lithomancy.
Lithomancy. Did we say it at the same time? I hope so.
Yes. Forgive
So
me.
listeners, listeners and watchers, Gary's going to tell us what lithomancy is, and that's why if you're
In
watching, I'm wearing this
1980, in
necklace. It's
19,
very bling bling.
there you go. That's magical,
The
girl.
bling. Okay, so tell us about lithomancy. What's this?
In 1980, through a friend, I met this lady named Alice Warhol who gave me a reading. I was going through a bunch of issues then, and I asked her, first of all, about my near death experience, and she described them as Arnos and highly protective. And yeah, this is a real experience, and I'll learn more and I'll see more. She confirmed a lot of what they told me anyway. Uh, then she did a reading for me and used these 16 stones, and it blew my mind because I started giving readings with regular decks of playing cards. I didn't
Right.
want I didn't want to read a whole book on how tarot works. I wanted to just have something I could just jump into and use intuition. And in 1977, before I went through my near death experience, or as I was going through it for that week of escalating psychic ability, I was clearly educated on the fact that any moment in time can be incredible symbolism about just about anything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, any moment in time and space can be a port to infinite mind and infinite knowledge. Now, is it? Most of the time, no. Most people don't even
We're not
think that.
thinking of it that way.
Right.
No, most people.
Yeah.
I would have never thought of that.
No.
Right.
I would have never even had these thoughts had I not been gifted enough to be invited to higher mind and back. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Speaking of which, thank you. That's my motto from that day forward.
Gratitude. Yeah.
Gratitude. Amen,
Yeah.
girl. Amen. We don't live in Ukraine or North Korea, and I could go on.
Mm.
I
So
have
anyway,
gratitude for cats. The earth has cats. I think that's just a
so
great thing.
I met Alice
Donna
Worrell.
agrees.
I do.
So I met Alice Worrell. She gave me a quick reading. I was fascinated by this, wanted to learn it. She was having a course in a couple of weeks. I signed up, showed up. It was pouring rain. I was the only one there, just her and I. It was raining so heavy, nobody else showed up. It was a free course, I think.
Okay.
So she did a reading for herself pretty quick, about 5 minutes. Uh, and we both headed home. And the next day, I wrote down the stones, okay, Sun, Moon, Mercury,
Hmm.
Venus. There's 10 stones: Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn,
Okay.
Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto, planet stones. And then there's 6 personal stones: love, life, luck, commitment, timing, and place. 16 stones. So she
Okay.
did a quick reading. It was raining heavy. We both headed home. Next day, I got 16 stones, a little piece of leather to make a circle to represent the environment, and a clock.
Okay.
You drop the 16 stones, from about 6, 7 inches. You don't drop in one little pile. You don't drop
Mm.
6 feet to go over the room. So just knowing the physics of the weight of the
Mm.
stones. And I read them like a clock from the center up to 12 o'clock and then around like a circle.
Mm.
How they touch and point, what the stones mean. These stones are a little bit bigger in comparison for visualization.
Yeah.
About twice the size that they would normally be. But yeah, I just read them like a clock. Uh,
So,
and I also
listeners
use.
and watchers, we were before the podcast. I was picking his brain about lithomancy, and I was saying, like, does it matter what color they are? He says it doesn't really for you. You don't have to know the type of stone. Really, it doesn't matter so much as
You can read.
where they
I
are. When you
would.
say you read it like a clock, what does that mean?
Uh-huh.
Like that's the time flowing.
Yeah,
Like
I read
here's
from
where
the
you're starting,
center
and here's where
here.
you're ending in the reading.
I start reading in the center. I read to
Okay.
12 o'clock. That's the start of this week.
Oh,
1 o'clock, first week, 2 o'clock, second week, 3 o'clock, third week. I ran for 12 weeks.
that is so
Wow.
cool.
So
Okay.
and I like the system because it's short term. And let's
Mm.
face it, the further out you give a psychic prediction,
Yeah.
It's
the
gonna
less
be
exact it can be. There's
Yeah.
too many
Yeah.
yeah, too
free,
many variables. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
many free wills can affect it. We all got free
Yes.
will.
Yes.
Yes. All
But
right. So, do you want to do a demonstration reading with your lithomancy rocks? Are
I'd
you
have to
inspired?
completely set up. I'm just
Oh, you're
able.
not set up. Okay. Okay.
I'd have to
I
go
should have
grab
said
them
so. You
over.
have to come back and do it then. You have to come
Oh,
back
I
and teach
can
us
and I
more.
will. In fact, I'll do one for either or both y'all, and y'all can put it on the YouTube. Uh,
Oh,
but I have
okay.
to but I have
Well,
to set up and so forth. So
well,
yeah, doing it in this webcam, I'd have to put up here so I could shine it down on the.
Right.
oh,
So
so
that
you
it's
can see
looking
the
at what, yeah.
stones and everything. So
Yeah.
you have to really set up and everything. Yeah, let's plan that. Let's try and maybe make that happen sometime, like sometime in the
Yeah,
next couple weeks, if you want to.
let's set up a reading for both y'all, and we'll do it. You
Okay.
can put it with this
Yeah.
or in a
That'd be
separate reading.
fabulous.
That would be rad, listeners and watchers. Thank
Yes.
you so much, Gary. That would be really cool. And I'm gonna
Yeah,
get both those books for
I
sure.
was in
Yes.
I was in Europe, lived there from '93 to 2000 in Copenhagen. En jeg kan snakke lidt dansk. I can speak a little Danish.
Yeah.
Men jeg ikke ved nok orden. I don't speak enough words. And every time I've dated a Danish lady over there, and every time I try to speak Danish, they speak English because they learn English from 6 years
Yeah.
old.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're like,
But
he
I
doesn't
can
do that
always
so well, so we're gonna stick with English.
living in living in Copenhagen, I could always hear how the Copenhagen Danish people spoke English. There's certain
Mhm.
words, and now
Question.
when I watch Smithsonian or something, and there's some
Yeah.
Scandinavian scientist, I can tell that guy's from Copenhagen or
Yeah.
Well,
Sweden or Norway. they're similar languages,
Mhm.
written and spoken, but they're different, a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I have a question for you, Gary. When you hear people's thoughts, do they ever think in different languages? Or is it just you just know what they're
yeah,
thinking?
kind of just a feeling, a human
You don't
feeling.
hear the words, you just know what they're thinking.
Yeah, and I don't have that on full blast like I did for a week in
Well,
1970.
that's what I was referring to, is that week. Yeah.
Thank God. It's like having your 360 24/7 IMAX blaring out
I can't
some music
imagine
you
what that
don't
would be
like.
like. That would be a nitmare.
Overwhelming. I'm
It
sure.
was a
It's
challenge.
overstimulating for
Yeah.
sure,
In
too.
fact,
Yeah.
I will admit this, going through this near-death experience, I have never been through such fear.
Yeah.
I have never been through it. And because of that, I am fearless. Nothing scares me anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that could change tomorrow, but I ain't gonna go look for it,
Yeah. You happy with what you're grateful for
Sure.
Yeah,
today?
I'm happy.
Yeah.
So where can the
Grateful and
listeners find you, Gary, and find your books? Where do you have a website or?
yeah, there's two ways to find me that are pretty easy. One is to email me if you want to reading. I do readings
Okay.
using this method. GW at GARYWIMMER.com. GW at GaryWimmer.com. Now you can go to my website, GaryWimmer.com, GaryWimmer.com. And you can see I'm also an actor. I've been a writer. I've been a musician.
Mhm.
Pretty much now I'm doing psychic readings.
And you're a great podcast guest. You are a really
Yes.
good podcast guest. You should
I've
put
been
that
a
on your
ham.
resume.
I have six brothers. They're all businessmen and athletes. I was always the guy with the puppet show and the chemistry set and magic show, and I was always the ham. And that's
That's
when
great.
I wasn't planning on being a musician my life, much less a psychic.
Yeah.
But like I said, because I was a conscientious objector, and the whole technical electrical engineering industry in the 70s was defense work, and I went, screw that.
Sure.
That's why I
Yeah.
became a musician and did it. And
Yeah.
I look back and think, I'm real glad. I never made much money playing music.
No,
was
I never
one of
did
them.
either.
Yeah, I mean, I knew I'd be in one of the 99% of the world's working musicians. No CD deal, no voice, no great. But to me,
Yeah.
that was being able to travel and be a ham and have people pay me for what I love to do.
Yeah.
How
It's
can I
worth
be more
it.
grateful?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because I don't go get a Golden Globes or an Emmy or a record deal. Hell with that.
You just got
So
the
I
knowledge of the galaxies and the universes. I mean, you said you expanded out beyond the universe of ours.
Yeah.
So,
I did, and
you got that. So, I mean, you don't really, after that, I mean, how can you be excited
I
about being in a rock star,
when when I realized in 1977 how real my guides are and everybody's guides and how
Yeah.
real our connection to infinite mind is, I start asking my guide to help me find cars and places I can
Yeah.
live and girlfriends and gigs. And I got 99% of what I asked for my
Mhm.
whole life
Mhm.
because I never asked to wake up and sing like Freddie Mercury.
Mhm.
you didn't ask for anything
I
extravagant that
yeah,
you felt like wasn't
I
for
never
the
asked
wrong
you.
reasons or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I knew
exactly.
I'd never get a record deal. I never asked for one. I just wanted to just make sure that I do the best I can with my package deal
Mhm.
because we're all
Yeah.
package deal.
I also think a lot of times, not that there's anything wrong with material things, because
Not at
material
all.
things, I mean, we live in a material world. I'm sorry, Madonna, but yes.
Oh,
Material.
I'd like to
But
be
we do,
richer
but we
too.
do. And that's okay. And that's okay. But I really
Okay.
think that a lot of times what we ask for, I'll say kind of what they hear or what they deliver is, yes, what we ask for, I'll say kind of generally speaking, and sometimes even kind of specifically, but I believe that it's because it's what will truly, not what we think will make us happy, but what will truly make us happy.
Yes, it's not what we
And I
expect.
Amen.
think,
It's never what we think it'll
and
be,
it's
it's what we
often not, and
expect.
it's often got nothing to do with what we expect.
Never.
I
And it might
remember.
very well be material, but it's still something material in the sense that it's an enhancement and it'll make
Yeah.
us happy. as opposed to creating something or having us have to deal with something that in our minds, because we're so limited, I mean, just our
Mhm.
mental process, our human mental process, or our ego mental process is so limiting that we think, oh, well, if I had $1 billion, yeah, but you know what? If you had $1 billion, you'd probably also have $1 billion problems. You wouldn't have money problems, maybe, but you'd have $1 billion problems.
I
So I
never
mean,
had that
it's a
problem.
lot. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
never
I
had
don't
that
have to, I
problem
don't think I'm
either.
gonna have to worry about that.
Me neither.
The idea is what's going to actually bring us our satisfaction and our fulfillment
Oh,
and our happiness.
I remember one of the most mind-boggling things I ever heard as a young Catholic kid was from a priest who came in second grade Catholic school and said, "Does God always answer your prayers?" And of course, everybody's going, "No." And he goes, "Always, just not
Yeah,
in the way you expect and want or
exactly.
hope."
Exactly.
And I'll never forget that
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I was so mind blown.
And you
Yeah.
never know when either.
Yeah, you don't know what. Yeah, you don't know necessarily the when or the what, but the end.
That's right.
I'll kind of say the end result. The idea of being happy or being content or having joy or having whatever. That's really
It'll
what
be for your
will
highest
come
and
through.
greatest
Yeah,
good,
it'll
whatever.
be for your
Yeah.
highest good, truly for your highest
Oh,
good, and not like nasty medicine.
amen.
Here, take this for your own good.
Tough
It's
love, no tough
actually,
love.
it's
It's
actually,
gentle.
it actually is pleasant. It's
Yeah.
enjoyable. It's
Yeah.
it's life affirming. It's life enhancing.
Amen.
That's
I
right.
was when I was a Catholic kid, many times I asked nuns and priests at a young age, and I don't know how I just knew this, but I'd say, "How do you take, you do penance and 50 Hail Marys or whatever, and you take 500 days off infinity? That doesn't work. You could take infinity off infinity and it'd still be infinity." You know, they had no idea how to answer my questions, and I kept
Yeah,
being, or predestination. You
yeah,
say, explain. Now I understand predestination. It's really our free will manifesting or
Manifesting.
not,
Yeah.
or not, you know.
Or not, yeah.
yeah, or not. Yeah,
But
I'm not
these are,
manifesting much today, man. I'm hurting again. Like yeah, well, you don't know this, Gary, but I have a connective tissue disorder, and I've been taking this medication that stopped the pain. But because it dropped down into the 20s here in Nashville, and the pressure's over 30, I'm just hurting
yeah,
today, man. Like everything hurts again, and nothing will stop it. No, no. But it's
hey,
okay.
Lisa,
I'm kind of like, whoa, my back's starting to give out. So
Lisa, I know I've got degenerative disc disease,
I have
spinal
that too.
stenosis,
I have
facet
that.
disease, femoral
oh,
narrowing,
I have that.
arthritis, from
I have
my
that.
neck down to the bottom of my toes, including my hands. It's hard for me to
Yeah.
even play music anymore.
yeah,
Oh.
I'm tingling. I got neuropathy.
My dad has
But
neuropathy. It's terrible.
yeah,
Yeah. He
oh
has
yeah,
CIDP, I think it's called CIPD or something like
yeah.
that.
I
yeah,
think,
I take a little bit of gabapentin and things like that
Well,
help.
they've been
But
doing
more,
infusions on my dad where he can't feel his legs at all.
oh,
And
I know.
so they do these
But
like infusions.
the main thing we have access to,
Yeah.
a lot of times we can't change our situation or
We
our
can change
health
our
or
attitudes though. We can.
always,
yeah,
Always.
always,
yeah,
always. And that's the power.
That is the
Always
power.
has
Change
been.
the way we think about something. We can think about it wherever we want. No one can tell us how to think.
yeah,
As
We
yeah,
Edgar
can, but we
Casey,
don't have to do it.
as Edgar Casey stressed over and over and over in his readings, Edgar Casey, mind is the creator.
yeah,
Yeah.
What you put in your mind and start generating, it's going to manifest either in this universe or some other one over infinite time. It's got a lot of
hmm
possibilities, like the monkeys
hmm
typing Shakespeare.
yes,
Yeah, they can do it. Infinite time,
yeah.
infinite typewriters, infinite monkeys.
I love that. Okay, Gary, I've got to ask you for some advice for the listeners and the watchers. So let's say there's maybe some listeners and watchers who maybe they've had the kind of awakening type stuff you had happen to you, if you want to call it that, or like all their senses popped out like that all at once.
Mhm.
And they just found this podcast and it's happening to them right now. What would you be your advice to someone going through that right now?
Take a deep breath, relax. Number one, the power's in our head. No matter what the situation, we can turn the panic button off. Now, it may take us a little practice. Hell, it takes practice to play golf, or to do a podcast, But
True.
I use this analogy, no matter what the situation is. If it were a baseball game, none of us can tell the pitcher where to throw the ball. So we're all stuck with that pitcher. Does that mean we can't do anything about it? No. Bring a big bat, a big attitude, and every time before you swing, vow to yourself and to the whole universe that you're going to hit a home run.
Just picture it.
Yeah, you're going to hit more than if you think I might strike out. Now, you're not going to hit every one.
You have better chances if you think you will. If you know you will, you'll have better chances too.
That's right. We can, by our attitude and our practical, you got to have a bat, you got to be at the baseball plate.
Right, exactly. You can't be at home in the bathtub and hit a home run.
Yeah, you can't wish you'd hit a home
that's
run.
Where I am.
If you never pick up. Yeah, it's like hoping you can hit a hole in one and never go to a golf course.
Exactly.
Come on, So intentions and attitude.
Yeah, there's intention, conditions, right? Environment, because we do have to, positioning.
It ain't our situation. It's how we look at our situation.
Yeah.
Always is, always will be. And we can always change that.
Yes.
We can always upgrade. And if you don't upgrade, you stay stuck. And we upgrade by choice.
Yes.
Now, thank you, universe. It slaps us in the face enough and throws us enough curveballs and challenges and changes to stimulate us. And life is trying to show us all the time what we can and should learn next, but it can't make us.
Right.
Yeah,
we could choose to be stupid and blind, and that's a choice too. So you want to grow, you want to evolve, you want to conquer your fears, your doubts, your problems, your medical issues. Doesn't matter. The power's inside. That doesn't mean you can, become a millionaire by thinking or
pulling dollars out of your ears. No, that's not going to probably happen.
You raised your arm at the same time. I was just thinking you're not going to you're not going to grow an arm back if you lose it in a car accident.
Yeah.
But you know what? They might make that happen soon with all this just AI stuff.
Yeah, actually, you never know. Yeah, actually,
they're growing brains, man. Yeah. They're growing brains.
Yeah.
It's true. That example worked 10 years ago. Now it's like, they can put a better one on.
Something else. I don't know, man. A man getting pregnant. There we go. Okay.
No thanks.
They can probably do that though too. I don't know.
I guarantee you. And I tell ladies this a lot in readings and in life, because I grew up with 6 brothers and we never had a sister. We were very respectful of women. We just wanted to have a couple in our lives,
Yeah. Yeah.
But ladies, men will never clearly, completely, and thoroughly understand how deep and complete and thorough women love. So pat yourself on the back for that. You know it intellectually and emotionally and psychically and spiritually. Good. It's not selfish to pat yourself on the back for the good things you are and do. It's selfish to not do that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Gary. That's beautiful.
Very wise. Yes.
That is just
very wonderful and very wise.
I think you just won over the entire female audience of this podcast.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They're all in love with you now.
Realize that.
They're all in love with you. You validated their emotional responses. You just nailed it.
So
thank you so much, Gary. You were just so awesome. And I want to thank our sponsor, Everclear. Everclear is an advice app and website where you can get advice from psychics and empaths, so you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. And Donna and I are both advisors on there. Donna, what's your name? Maria M.
Maria M.
And I'm Lisa Rusick. And on the, I think they changed it from Everclear Advice app to Psychic Advice app or something like that. They changed it. I just looked in the App Store today and they changed the name of it again. But they change the name sometimes. But the website is everclear.com. And I will get the name of it definitely for the next podcast, what they've changed it to. and Gary and listeners and watchers, I'll put all Gary's information in the description of the podcast. And lastly, Gary, do you love the listeners and the watchers?
Oh, I do what?
Do you love the listeners and the watchers? Do you love them?
Podcast?
The listeners.
Oh, is it a show?
Yes,
TV?
this podcast. You love our listeners.
Oh, this. Okay, excuse me. Yeah.
Every time I ask that question, people get thrown or they go with it. You never know what's going to happen. You never know. You never know. It's a weird question. Because I love our listeners and our watchers.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anybody like y'all who are helping expand human consciousness, amen.
And you,
Mhm.
man.
'Cause
Thank you.
that's
Yeah.
well, that's the theme of the time. Because if we don't choose to upgrade and grow and evolve and get better, we get crappier. There
Yeah,
ain't
we
much
Yeah.
neutral. There ain't much neutral, man. I
Yeah.
know. So thank y'all for what you do and what you offer and how you
Thank you.
inspire people.
Thank
And
you.
it's
And
certainly been an
you keep
honor
going
to be
on
with
those
you.
books. I want more books. So I'm already
Yeah.
reading those. So give us more books
Yes.
too. And listeners and watchers, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. And we will see you probably next week. I think we have a podcast next week, maybe two. I don't know. But
Yeah.
listeners and watchers, I love you. Have a great time.
Check out my books. You'll
Check
enjoy
out
them. A
his
Second
book.
Eternity
Thank
and
you.
Lithomancy.
Peace out. Bye.
Thank y'all. Bye
All
bye.
right. Bye for now.